Hey there everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Schwigget Show. Now on today's episode I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to install the official download of Elder Scrolls Daggerfall onto your Retropie DOSBox. So first and foremost, you're going to need a keyboard and a mouse to do this installation. It is mandatory. Second off, as far as the video quality goes, I have to shoot this with a tablet. It's the only means I have to make this video at this time. So do bear with me, because, well, to be honest with you, I can't find a single tutorial anywhere, not on YouTube or online, blogs, forums, anywhere, that actually details accurately how to install this game into the Retropie DOSBox. You can find tutorials how to do it on Windows and Linux operating systems, but not directly into Retropie. So yeah, so moving on from here, the first thing we're going to need is DOSBox installed into our Retropie. Now if you don't already have it installed and you don't know how to install it, I will leave a link to a video in the description below. It's for a YouTuber who goes by the name of ETA Prime. He has an excellent tutorial on how to update Retropie, install DOSBox, and add ROMs for DOSBox. And so go ahead, check that out, get your DOSBox set up, and then the next step is we are going to get the game. So this game is completely free. It is legal, and you actually get it from Bethesda themselves. They released it to public domain years ago, and so the website you need to go to get it is elderscrolls.bethesda.net. It'll bring you up to this page. Go to Games, click Legacy, and then go ahead and click Daggerfall, and this is the official version. And then just click download the full game. Now for sake of time, I went ahead, I downloaded, unloaded, and uploaded the files for the game. So let's go ahead and jump over here. With my Raspberry Pi, I put all my games on a flash drive, so that's this folder here. When the download from Bethesda finishes, you will get a zipped file titled DFInstall. Go ahead, unzip that folder, and it will give you the unzipped folder, DFInstall. Inside that folder you'll have Dagger, DFCD, and then actually the installation instructions from Bethesda, which we'll be following with some slight alterations to make it work with Retropie. So nonetheless, the first step we're going to take from here is to change the name of this folder. We're going to change it to Daggerfall with a capital D. Do note, it's important to mind the uppercase and lowercase. MS-DOS is case sensitive on some commands. So when you name this folder, make sure you put the capital D at the beginning of Daggerfall. Just for the sake of this tutorial, I named the folder that just so it's easy to find. So once you have Daggerfall, or that file renamed Daggerfall, we're going to go into our storage device for our Raspberry Pi, go down to ROMs, then for the DOSBox the folder you need is PC. Go ahead and open that up, and then drag the Daggerfall folder with all its contents into that PC folder, which again, for time purposes of the video, I went ahead and did. So you will have the Daggerfall folder and then the start DOSBox script. So from here I'm going to jump over, and I got to get up and transfer my flash drive into my Raspberry Pi, get it booted up. Now if you've done everything correctly up to this point, you will have a MS-DOS emblem in your emulation station on your Retropie. Let's go ahead, we'll jump in there and check the contents real quick. So there's the start DOSBox script, Daggerfall, and then the two folders with the games, Dagger, DFCD. So the first step we got to take though is we need to edit the memsize for DOSBox configuration. Now there's two ways we could do this. There's a permanent way, which I'm going to show you now, and a temporary way I'll show you afterwards. To permanently edit the configuration file, go to Retropie configuration, go down to File Manager. Real quick, once you go into File Manager, only use your keyboard. Don't use your controller. It can cause problems sometimes. So we'll enter into File Manager. Okay, yeah, I think that'll fare well enough. And it goes blurry now. Either way, it's the program files for your Retropie. It's going to have your emulators, it's going to have, I think, your ROMs, all that stuff. So you could cause a little bit of damage inside of this if you're careless. But just follow my instructions, the tutorial, and don't worry about it. You'll be fine. At the bottom, you'll see those light blue boxes. Those are navigation commands. Like 1 is help. Each box has a corresponding number. So 1 is help, 2 is menu, 3 is view, 4 is edit, copy, remove, delete, exit. Those navigation commands are actually going to be your F keys. So yours might look a little bit different depending if you have different emulators installed, but there will be a option for DOSBox. So once you have DOSBox highlighted, we want to view the contents of the folder, so we'll hit F3, and what we're looking for is going to be the DOSBox-svn.conf. That's the DOSBox configuration. See if I can, this is zoomed in a little bit too far. Yeah. So it's that first one right there. So this is the one we want to edit, so we're going to hit F4 so that we can edit this. Now there's one part in this tutorial that I was not able to replicate, and that is the first time when you come into this file to edit, it's going to prompt you to select a program to edit with. There's 4 options. Each one has a corresponding number, 1, 2, 3, and 4. When the first time I came in here, the number 2 option, if my memory serves me correct, the number 2 option had a big arrow to the side of it and a note saying it was the easiest program to edit with. So that is the one I selected, the one that it recommended, and that is the one I'm using. And again, if my memory serves me correct, it's the option 2. So I believe you hit not F2 but actually the number 2 on your keyboard and then hit enter, and then it will bring you to the actual edit page to edit the configuration file. So once you're in here using your keyboard, navigate down using the directional arrows. We're going to go down to the second segment right here, and you can see there it says memsize equals 16. We need to change that to 32. So I'm going to navigate over to the end of the 16, backspace, backspace, 32, and then from here we're done. We just got to exit out and save. Again, at the bottom you can see there's the navigational commands. Those are actually activated using the control and the corresponding letter. So to exit, we're going to do Control X. It will ask you if you want to save the changes. If for whatever reason you think you messed something up or you saw something move that you didn't intend to move, just hit no. It will back you out and revert back to the default configuration. But if you feel confident, go ahead and hit Y for yes. Now it's going to ask you to file name to write, and it's going to automatically pop up the configuration file. So go ahead and hit enter. And that is that. We just successfully and permanently changed the memsize for DOSBox configuration. So to get out of this, it's going to be F10 to quit. Pick up the controller again. Now let's go ahead and go back to our DOSBox. Now, like I said, I'm going to show you the temporary process to change the memsize, just in case you're not comfortable going into that file manager. But before we do, something I want to point out real quick, and you have to use your keyboard in DOSBox. I had this problem where my / key didn't work. I guess it's kind of common depending on what keyboard you have, physical keyboard you have. It may not have the keys attached to the DOSBox virtual keyboard, and so if that happens, you need to pull up the key mapper. That's all blurry either way. To pull up the key mapper, hold Control and hit F1, and it will pull up this virtual keyboard. And this is real simple. For example, my / button doesn't work. So you can use your mouse and your keyboard in here. I had an issue the first time I came in here, and I grabbed my PS4 controller that's Bluetooth to the Raspberry Pi, and I hit the left analog stick, and it crashed my entire Pi, just like shut it down. Not sure why, but until I learn more, or you learn more about the key mapper, I would suggest just staying away from your controller if you have one hooked up. But so in order to add any keys that you may be missing, find it on the virtual keyboard. Mine is the / so I'm going to select it. Down here it's going to ask you what do you want to do with that key. We're going to click add, and then we're going to push the key on our physical keyboard that we want that key. They call it binding, but we want to assign that key to, which I'm going to do the / on my keyboard. And there we go. Whatever reason, it shows it here, event key / it should be / to key and then the hashtag or numerical sign. But yeah, go ahead and save that. It will permanently save that, and exit. Bring it back. Now I got my / button. So let's make sure this is, let's see if I can focus this a little bit better. Okay, I think that's fair enough. I'm going to call out all these commands just so you could easily follow. Also in the description below, I will type out every single command in order. So if you have any issues, with the audio or the video quality, you'll have a written copy as well that you can follow. But nonetheless, so with changing the memsize, every time you start up DOSBox, this is what it's going to look like. And it will automatically mount your C drive for you. To change the memsize, we need to go back into the Z drive. So we're going to type Z : enter. And it just put us into the Z drive. That's basically those files that we were just looking at in the file manager. So from here, we're going to type out config, CONFIG in all caps, space, hyphen, the word set in lowercase, SET, space memsize in lowercase, memsize, equals 32. Is it showing it? Yeah. Okay, enter. So that just set the mem size to 32, again temporarily. Every time you load up DOSBox, if you do it temporarily, you will have to go through this process of setting the mem size to 32. Now, if you want to make sure that it did actually change it, there's a command we could type in, and it's config get mem size. So we'll just alter this, change that S to a G, so it says config space hyphen get mem size, enter, and 32. Oh yeah, quick little cool thing. It saves all your commands you type out. So if you use the directional arrows up and down, you can change through all the previous commands you typed. So that'll save you a little bit of time. Now, moving on to the actual installation. Yeah, I would recommend doing the permanent change to the mem size, but that's up to you. But moving on with the installation. So, like I said, every time you start up DOSBox, it will automatically mount the C drive, and it will give you the directory or the path that it mounted for the C drive. We're going to have to change that. There's a couple of problems with it, and it causes problems trying to install the game off of the automatically installed, installed drive C. So first we need to take off the automatically installed drive C. In order to do that, you do need to be in the Z drive, so capital Z colon enter, so you're in the Z drive. Then we're going to type mount in all caps, M-O-U-N-T, space, going to do a hyphen, lowercase u, space, then a capital C, enter. Drive C has successfully been removed. Now we're going to remount the C drive properly. To do that, we're going to do mount in all caps again, M-O-U-N-T, space, capital C. Oh, quick note. The format that I'm using to put in these drives, and when I say format, I'm referring to the uppercase, lowercase, and also any special characters. Different operating systems, their format might be a little bit different, but the reason I use the format I am using is because it's actually the format that DOSBox uses when it installs, and it works. So yeah, just follow the tutorial to a T and you'll be alright. So after the capital C, we're going to do a space and then a double quotation mark, backslash, home in lowercase, backslash, pi lowercase, backslash, and that's P-I, then Retropie, backslash, make sure the R and the P is capitalized in Retropie. Then we're going to do ROMs lowercase, R-O-M-S, backslash, PC lowercase, backslash, and then Daggerfall with a capital D, backslash. And then after that last backslash, we're going to do a double quotation mark again. So it should read Mount C, Home Pi, Retropie, ROMs, PC, Daggerfall. Then we're going to do a space, hyphen, free size in all lowercase, F-R-E-E-S-I-Z-E. Then we're going to do a space, then the numerical value of 1000, 1000. So it should look like that. That hyphen free space 1000 is mandatory to do the install. Enter. Drive C was mounted. So now we need to swap to the drive C. So capital C colon. Now we're in the C drive. Now we need to mount the D drive. So I'm going to go ahead and pull up this command and just edit it. Save some time. Get rid of that. Then we're going to change the capital C to a capital D. So it'll be capital mount space capital D space. Then the previous line we typed, you know, the double quotation, backslash home pi, Retropie ROMs PC, Daggerfall. After that slash after Daggerfall, in all caps do DFCD, and then just the double quotation marks. After the double quotation marks, do a space, hyphen, lowercase t, space, CD-ROM in all lowercase, CD-ROM, space, hyphen, label, LABEL, all lowercase. Then we're going to do a space and we're going to type out Daggerfall with a capital D again. Quick note again, since this command line is so long, it's automatically going to drop down to the line beneath to finish it. And for whatever reason, I haven't been able to figure out how to go back to the line above. Once it drops down, it won't let me go back to edit anything on this first line that I'm still currently on. So before you type out Daggerfall again, just double check everything, that it's spelt out right and spaced right. So everything looks good here, so I'll go ahead and finish this up. See, and there it goes. Yeah, as far as I know, you can't go back up at this point. So enter. It's going to say limited support MSC DEX mounted subdirectory. Don't worry about that. What matters is it says drive D was mounted as CD-ROM and then the following line. So now we need to go into the D drive, capital D, colon, enter. Now we're in the D drive. Now we're going to type in install in all caps, INSTALL. Hit enter. And this is the game installer. Just click on the screen with your mouse. You have to use your mouse at this point and it'll pull up the in-game mouse. Click on continue, install the game. Then go down, make sure you do this, go to change the install size. Select huge. Yes, this installation size is fine. It's going to give you the C dagger path. Yes, that's the path we want. And then it will ask you again if you're sure everything looks good, go ahead and install the game. Okay, so at this point, if it gives you an error message saying there's not enough memory, that means the command line with the hyphen free space 1000 was not entered correctly. And it's going to force you on a DOSBox and make you start all over again. So just make sure that you get that entered correctly. If not the first time, the second time. I timed this. It's about a 22-minute installation, at least, on the Raspberry Pi 3B Plus. So I am going to just let it go. And I'm going to cut this out using the YouTube editor. So yeah, I'll see you shortly. Alright, and welcome back. And so the installation was complete. Now there are a couple things left before we can start playing the game. First off, we have to install the sound card. It will automatically bring up this prompt. Go ahead and click yes. It'll bring you to this page. Now you got to use your keyboard for this section. You want to highlight auto detect, hit enter. It'll give you a warning, don't worry about it. At the bottom, make sure detect is highlighted, hit enter. Proceed, OK. Up at the top right under digital device, it'll say Sound Blaster 16. That's what we need. So now we're going to use the arrow keys, go over to OK, hit enter, go down to select MIDI, enter. Now use your arrow keys and scroll down to Sound Blaster 16, enter. On the port 388, hit enter, then press the right directional key for OK and hit enter. And that is that. Now we're going to go to OK, hit enter, save, yes, hit enter, and it says installation complete. Now we're going to click on OK. It tells you this, but we're just going to go ahead and hit OK. We'll go over that in a minute because we got to install the patch. It fixes a lot of bugs. I don't think all of them, but I think it fixes a lot of them. So it's going to bring you to this page to go ahead and start the patch. Type DAG in all caps 213. Oh, that's blurry as can be. Hold on. Yeah, it's still way blurry. Either way, DAG DAG 213. Hit enter. It's going to prompt you if you want to run it. Hit Y for yes. And it's going to go ahead and run through the update patch. Yeah. I think this takes like 30 seconds. And it's going to bring up another prompt. There's another patch for the map. Fix maps. Go ahead and hit Y for yes. And that is that. So from here, we just have to type the word dagger in all caps, DAGGER, and it'll start the game. I'm going to go ahead, I'll let it load up the game, just show you it works, and then we'll back out because yeah, every time, and this is even in the Bethesda installation instructions, every time you want to run this game, you have to start DOSBox like we did before, and you have to mount your C drive and then mount your D drive. And there's my cat. Give me a minute. Say hello, Felix. So, yeah, here you go. We're in it. Start new game. Pick your place. Whatever. Yeah, create your character. And I guess one cool thing I didn't know, I was watching a guy's tutorial on this. If you go into choose from a list, you can actually go down, and I thought I'd throw this in here, and do a custom class. And I think you gotta double click it. And you can actually pick all your primary, secondary skills, things like that. And yeah, you could change their advantages, disadvantages, and it'll actually adjust how quickly you level up. There's definitely, you know, you can exploit this in a way that it makes you overpowered, but thought I'd just throw that in there while we're here. So an important command to know to get out of DOSBox is Control F9. We'll go ahead and back out because yeah, every time you want to play Daggerfall, you have to go into the Start DOSBox option, and you're going to have to run and mount the C drive and the D drive every single time. And if you do the temporary memsize change, you're going to have to do that every time as well. So again, it automatically loads up that same old C drive, so we gotta get rid of that. I'll just run through this and that'll be the end of the tutorial. So Z colon enter, and I'm just going to type this down. It's the same as before. So yeah, I forgot to unmount the C drive. So unmount the C drive, sorry. Now at this point all you have to do is type CD lowercase space capital Dagger, DAGGR. It'll pull up that extension into that file Dagger, and then from here just type Dagger again in all caps and it will launch the game. Yeah, so that is that. Now, from what I've learned, there is a way to enter these commands into that configuration file, and they're called auto execute commands. So it'll load the configuration file, and then it'll load up whatever command you put in the auto execute. And so there is a way to kind of shortcut this. I haven't completely figured that one out, but I'm working on it, and so I might make a tutorial at a later time showing how to do that, so it's just a little bit easier to get your game started. But either way, I hope this tutorial was helpful, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. I thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day.